years, week after week, seeing that dreams come true to be a somewhat professional speaker and with persuasion.
All right. Yes, persuasion. Tonight, you're going to hear about a persuasion technique that you want to know about, since you'll find it's often used against you. You'll find out what it's called a little later and more about it. But it was used on me a few years ago by my very own son. He was out here visiting me from New York. I hadn't seen him for a couple of months. And it was about time we had a nice visit. Now, some of you have met my son. He's taller than me, looks a bit like me, kind of dark skin, born and raised New Yorker like me. So he's kind of clever, clever enough to know this persuasion technique. And had you been in my kitchen that first night that he was visiting, you would have heard Stephen say to me, "Dad, I have something to tell you." Now, when a young man says, "I have something to tell you," you can imagine what went through my mind. Probably think, I'm on drugs, she's pregnant, I'm getting married, right? The worst thoughts went through my mind. Okay, Stephen, what is it you want to tell me? Well, Dad, I got a tattoo. Whew, tattoo. I mean, like one of those cute butterflies on your butt, or a nice little snake on your ankle? No, Dad. Have you ever heard of a full sleeve? Rolls up his sleeve and you see, I see, all around his arm, from his shoulder to his wrist, branches and leaves and all kinds of intricate designs. He said, "That's a full sleeve. That's my tattoo." Stephen, is that where the $1,500 I gave you for your teeth went? Dad, he was the best tattoo artist in New York. I had to give him a lot of money. Well, Stephen, it's your arm, it's your life. That's the way it's going to be. Well, I was a little shook up, but I took it in stride. I mean, it's my son. Until a few days later, I ran into my friend Mike. Mike's the kind of streetwise kind of guy, knows about these things, goes to the same barber as me. You can picture the kind of guy. And I told him what happened with Stephen. And he said, he got you, didn't he? What do you mean, Mike? He said he told you one thing and got you really scared about it, and then he switched you to another thing. Yeah. That's bait and switch. Now, I know, Pat, you don't call that bait and switch, because bait and switch is typically used by advertisers. They advertise something for a certain price. You go in a store, and then they say, "We don't have it." They switch you to something else. But the concept is exactly the same. Make you think of one thing, switch you to another. Now, this is used a lot on you already. For example, when you go to your car repair, the mechanic says, "Brian, your car needs," you're the guy with the car. Your car needs $2,400 worth of work. But I think we could do it for $500. You're happy when he says $500, because he baits you with the $2,400, switches you to the $500. Or maybe you're at the airport, you've missed your connection, your direct flight home. You go up to the counter, you say, "I got to get home tonight." And the counter person says, "You may have to wait until tomorrow. But if you're willing to go to Pittsburgh and then to St. Louis, I can get you home." And you say, "Oh, thank you. A flight you would never take." You're happy to have, because she baits you to think you may have to stay over in wherever that place is, and then tells you you can make it. So bait and switch is very common. Now, You can go on being susceptible of bait and switch. Be a victim of clever New Yorkers, like I was. Or you could learn to look out for the signals. One is the vague words like something to tell you. This could cost you more. You may have to stay overnight. And then watch for the switch to the thing that you'd be happy to accept. Not ordinarily, but given the way you conveyed it. So if you pay attention to these vague words and see how you're going to be switched, you might be free of this type of persuasion because you can ditch the bait and switch.